Hello everybody, my name is Stephanie. I'm the mother of Daylin Lee, and we're clients of Coach Mom, aka Sharon, of the Athlete Recruiting Service, otherwise known as ARS. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our journey and our relationship that we've developed with Coach Mom. Our journey started quite some time ago when she first started this venture of her program, and it dates back to AAU, and I'm going to say maybe about a good, maybe 8 years ago. I may be off a year or so, but we met each other through AAU. Our boys played in the same circuit, in the same program, different teams. And at that time we were having some struggles with our son. Struggles in the sense of not necessarily his growth, but being in the right place, right? Is it the right fit? Was it serving a purpose for him and where we were trying to go and what level of where Daylin was trying to go? And we just started having some discussion. A little time passed between of where we met up again, and then we met up with Coach Mom. And we talked about things, academics, we talked about confidence, we talked about growth of the individual, and just basically setting goals of where you want to go. You have to have a purpose of when you're starting this journey, because you put a lot of time into it, you put a lot of money into it, and maybe money you can get back, but your time you can't get back. So your investment has to be with an end goal. And what she did was she met with us and had us look at our goals straight in the face. Where do we want to go with this? Where does Daylin see himself? What do you want to do when you get to university, right? Do you want to go Canadian side, American side? There's just so much things that you have to look at, and most important that we had to look at was academics, right? Where was Daylin with academics, and what would be accepted for NCAA, whether D1, D2 school, whether you go JUCO. So some hard things that we had to look at, some hard facts, some cleaning up that we had to do, and I want to say fast forward to when Daylin hit university, became an A1 student, and all through Coach Mom helping him to understand how important his academics were. And it wasn't enough for us to say it as parents, but she really had to put it on paper and show him this is what you need in order to survive. Without academics, there is no basketball. And I think the sooner you teach your young athlete that, your female or your son or your daughter, help them to understand that the phrase is, without academics, there is no sport, whether it's basketball, soccer, what have you. I think it'll make their journey a little bit smoother. Once Daylin, understood where he wanted to go, we figured out really quickly that a prep school was our route. And with the support of his high school coach, his first coach, we ended up at a prep school here in Canada. But unfortunately, again, wasn't the greatest fit. And again, it's really about showcasing, right? Where do you want to go, how far, and how aggressive are you willing to be in this? And at that time, Daylin started to show signs of really wanting to be aggressive and taking off in his field of where he wants to go. So we ended up going to a school in the US, and you may feel the fit is right at that time, but as time goes on, certain things start to happen. And in our case, I won't try to drag this out too long, it wasn't the greatest fit for Daylin. And again, Coach Mom, within 48 hours, had Daylin out of that school. And when I say not the greatest fit, it had nothing to do with his ability in basketball and the team. It was a great team, great players, but unfortunately, in regards to this individual, wasn't the right fit for the school. The school found out really quickly, and we did not wait for the school to do or take care of whatever they had to take care of, because again, sometimes time can be of the essence for yourself. And in our situation, it was time of the essence. Daylin was a senior, so we had to just make a move. The school was very supportive and understanding of that, and Coach Mom worked with the school and with another school, and we were able to get Daylin out of there. And he finished in another school, won championship, and got recruited, heavily recruited. So don't ever give up. You may not be recruited in your grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, even though I know you can't be recruited in grade 9, but I'm talking about even just having interest. All of that didn't come for Daylin until his final year, and he got quite a bit of recruitment recruitment through Coach Mom, and we had to quickly make a decision, and we did. Forward to his university years, made the dean list 3 years in a row, just really took off with academics, and I think I want to contribute that to Coach Mom, helping him to understand at a very young age how important his academics were. He got to university and 90s kid, 80s and 90s, making the dean list. We were really surprised and just really happy with the fact that he learned to become that student athlete. You know, some people may say it came late, but it came just in the nick of time, because he just started to fly through his university courses and building great relationship with his teachers and understanding how to maneuver and deal with time when you become heavily with traveling with your school and sports, and he even took on another sport while he was at school. So learning to become a student athlete very early or in the middle, but just grasping it at the right time is very important. Unfortunately, in Daylin's second year, with COVID hitting, as we all know, COVID has, impacted us in many, many different ways, not just us as, adults, but also can affect students. And that did happen where Daylin was located, and he entered the transfer portal. Almost his entire team entered the transfer portal, and he did enter it quite late because he did want to stay at the school. He wanted to be loyal to the coach, and didn't want to transfer, but left him no choice to. He entered the transfer portal, got quite a few interests, but again, it's hit and miss sometimes. They are for you in 1 minute, and then they can move on to the next player. So, and Daylin this time was a little bit more inclusive to where he wanted to go. So he was trying to narrow it down. He didn't want to just go for anybody that was, interested in him. He, by this time, was already 2 years into his course that he was taking, his program, his degree, where some schools weren't offering what he was taking. So that became of interest to him. Not just fitting into a basketball team, but his program needed to fit into the school as well. So that also becomes a challenge. And again, Coach Mom came to our rescue and really just put together a videotape for him, his credentials, including what he was taking in school, and just really blasted everything out there. And he just started to get these hits all over, and obviously because it was late, you had to act really quickly. The communication between her, Daylin, and the school, and then he landed a full offer. Had more than one offer to choose from, but the one that he really nailed is the one that he ended up going with. And the communication with Coach Mom, myself, and Daylin, even sometimes I wasn't available because I was busy with one of our other children. She just took over and really just made sure everything went smoothly and exactly what Daylin wanted. The thing with Coach Mom is sometimes, because you think time is of the essence and you have to just say yes to anything, it wasn't like that for her. She sits down, outlines what the school is offering, whether it fits in with what you are looking for, especially academically, because there is life after basketball is what she always tries to teach you, and there's life after an injury. You can just wake up one day and just say, you know what, I wanted to focus more on academics as basketball. So she tries to make sure the package is all there, and she did that with Daylin, even though it came down to the last few minutes, we can say, but she made sure it was a great fit for him, and he is in a great place academically, taking both of his majors, and great relationship with his coach. So I just want to say that it's been a very long journey with Coach Mom, and through many different levels. Our beginning, our middle, then we hit a wall, then hit another wall. But you just have to trust the process. And I think communication and being transparent and honest, I think, is very important. And even if you don't agree with a suggestion, you can very willingly say that to her, and then you can come to a common ground. Because at the end of the day, you and your child have to live with that. And she's hammers that home, that Don't become that yes person, right? Weigh your pros and cons, have that discussion, and frequently keep in touch and communication. And my son Daylin reaches out to her all the time, has communication, and now comes back home, gives back to her camps and her programs, and he's always wanting to go back and give back and repeat his journey to the young ones, you know what I mean? And hopefully, as time goes on, you learn to try to, see if there's a spot that people can avoid if they can, right? Any collisions, as we like to call it, in our household. So just trust the process, write it down, make sure this is a journey that you want to start, because it is a very tedious one, and be very meticulous and ask all the right questions, So that's our journey and that's our story, and I'm sure it will continue.